Now let me talk about what you really need to focus on as you go through your journey in business or politics or whatever you choose to do. And I'm going to spend some time talking about this because I think it's important that you start to work on these early in your life as opposed to waiting till you reach a middle management or senior level before you work on these. The first thing that you all need to make sure you work on is your proposition. What is it that you're good at, that everybody in the company says, Dhruti is very good at this. If there's this sort of a problem, go to her. Or somebody says, do you want to solve this issue? Ruchi is the best at it. So each person has to have a proposition. And if you don't understand what it is that proposition is and is going to be, and constantly enhance it through what I call curiosity, looking to see how you can expand your proposition, looking to see how you can deepen your proposition, what happens is you become just another employee. So the first thing, focus on what your proposition is and how you enhance it with curiosity. The second thing that you need to work on, and you've got to start now, is creativity. The world requires creative solutions. And creativity, I know some people believe you're born with creativity. I actually don't think so. I think some people may be born with inherent creativity, but creativity can also be learned. All that you have to do is look at creative people, understand what makes them, be so creative. Try to connect dots that didn't exist and say, what kind of shapes come up? Look at innovators and see, how can they be so creative? How do they find opportunities that we missed? So constantly look at the outside, be curious, and develop your sense of creativity. Very, very important. The third skill, very badly needed, is a combination of courage and confidence. You can be somebody with a fantastic proposition, the most creative person, but you don't have the courage or the confidence to stand by what you're doing. People are going to think you're a wimp. And nobody follows a leader who doesn't have courage and projects their courage through a confident demeanor. So for those of you who don't give firm handshakes, for those of you who don't give eye contact when you meet somebody, for those of you who are not willing to communicate your message in a powerful way with courage and confidence, you've got to go to work on those skills. Please, it's critically important. Which brings me to the fourth related skill, communications. And I have to tell you, and I speak for Indians as a group, many of us have communication skills. Either we swallow words or our brain thinks too fast and therefore we speak too fast. And we are yet to be taught how to communicate in a pithy way, in a way that causes people to create shapes around what you're talking about. And so go on the YouTube and look at all the great communicators. Look at General Patton and the speech he gave. Look at President Obama and the speeches he gave. There is a great civil rights leader in the US called Vernon Jordan who passed away. Watch his speeches. Listen to Martin Luther King's speeches, the few that exist on film. Just the text itself does not inspire anybody, but the way he talked about it, the way he stood, the way he repeated certain lines, the way he enunciated words, all make a difference. Leaders have to make people follow them all the time. And it doesn't matter if you're managing 3 people or 3,000 people or 300,000 people. You've got to have an incredible sense of communication to mobilize those people to follow you to places where they never thought they needed to go. So communication. The next skill, which is critically important for any leader, is what I call your compass or your integrity. Integrity is a 0 or 100 thing. Either you have integrity or you don't have it. If somebody says, Nidhi is about 50% integrity or Alok is about 60% integrity, that means it's 0 integrity. You might think, hey, I only committed 2 acts of, that might question my integrity, but to the world, you lack integrity. And remember, whatever you do is because of the digital world and social media, don't think anything is secret. Everything is going to be out in the public. So behave as if every action you take is going to be in the public domain. And make sure that there's integrity in everything you do. The moral code of your life should be absolutely impeccable. The next one, number 6, is coaching. Any leader is a leader because they coach and develop the next generation of leaders. A leader who is only for himself or herself and does not develop succession is really not a leader. They're just a worker. So being a coach and developing people requires you to be secure, requires you to say, I don't mind if my job goes away because I coach somebody to do it better than I can do, because I'm going to develop myself to move on to the next bigger job. So you've got to coach, be a great coach. And the final thing, and very relevant in the Indian context, is citizenship. The country needs leaders who care about the country. The country needs people who worry about how to improve communities, how to improve the plight of the underprivileged, how to address the big issues that face India. If business leaders turn a blind eye to all of those issues and just focus on making the almighty buck at all costs, that is a waste of a great management education you've had. So please think about citizenship as something that's very, very important to all of you business students who've been privileged to go to a great institute of management and get a degree. Give back to the country, give back to your communities, give back to your states and your cities, because if all of you do that, the country itself will be better. So summarizing, the first is your proposition enhanced with curiosity, being creative, having courage and confidence, communicating anything you want to in a powerful way, a learned skill, develop it, having a compass that always points true north, having integrity that's impeccable, coaching others, and then having a deep sense of citizenship. So you worry about how to make the country and your community, in a better place than when you first had a part in shaping it.